Hello, hello. This is new. Hello. I haven't used the new Facebook Live from my laptop before. I probably should have practiced it a little bit more. Cool. Welcome. Today is the final day, day 3 of Master Your Mom Guilt. And today we're really going to go over some tools and we'll go over some tools as well as understanding how to use the previous 2 days feedback, exercises, and work to create a vision for your life that feels guilt-free, that looks guilt-free, so that you no longer feel weighed down by the unhealthy thoughts that you might be having or from the recurring guilt that you might be experiencing. So let's just recap from yesterday. We talked about the roots of how our unhealthy thoughts form and why working with your own inner child is so crucial to healing yourself in whatever phase of motherhood you are in right now. Healing that piece of you is so important so that you feel stronger in your identity, so that you feel stronger in who you are and who you get to be as a mom, so that you feel really great about showing up, so that you don't feel weighed down by other people's opinions, so that you don't feel weighed down by the guilt that mom culture perpetuates. So today's video is going to be a little bit different. It's going to be a little bit shorter than the other days, but I really wanted to share with you some tools and send you on your way so you can start to really work on these things. And I have an exciting announcement at the end of this video. So whether you're catching this on the replay or you are joining live, let me know you're here. Say hey where you're tuning in from. #replay if you are catching it on the replay. And tag me in your comments and your questions so that I don't miss anything. And I'd love to know too, what's come up in the last 2 days? What has been the biggest sort of aha moment for you? What has been swirling around that you're like, oh, I didn't realize that was impacting me as much as it actually is right now? I think reflecting on the previous 2 days is such an important way to build your vision, which is why I structure my trainings, I structure my programs in a very intentional way that builds upon the previous lesson, builds upon the previous lesson, and so on and so forth. And so understanding why mom guilt or how mom guilt is showing up in your life is important to set the foundation so that you can see where are the roots of that stemming from? How is this playing out? And now more importantly, how can I release those things in a way that feels congruent with my beliefs and values? And how do I create a vision for my life in motherhood that feels natural for me? One thing that I hear from, a lot of the moms who go into the Vibrant Mama Method or my personal clients, I thought motherhood was going to be more natural. I thought it was going to come more natural for me. And then when it doesn't, or when we have struggles, or when things don't go as planned, it's very easy to internalize those things as a failure. As this is something that's wrong with me. When in reality, our expectations and our experience don't line up with one another. We dove into that pretty deeply in day 1. And just like that, sometimes these tools that you can use to move forward or to help heal yourself, they don't come natural to you or they don't fit into your life. And so it's easy to ditch those things or to feel like if you don't do them perfectly, then they're not going to work and what's the point? So, my philosophy, my mantra, my style of working, simplicity is powerful. Your healing gets to be simple. That doesn't mean that things you are working through, the unhealthy thoughts, the mom guilt, the inner child stuff, that doesn't mean that it's easy. But the tools that you can start incorporating today, right now, get to be simple. Everyone has a technique and a practice for self-care, right? There's so many coaches out there that have wonderful formulas, wonderful methodologies, wonderful tools to help support your healing. And when you're in a period of growth, or when you're in a period of I am ready to work through these things, it's really easy to connect with a bunch of different people and try to, it's like I'll start using someone's this thing, I'm going to start doing this thing, I'm going to start doing this thing, until you're kind of doing a bunch of different things and nothing really is sticking, and so you feel like you're doing something wrong. That's why I am a big, big, big believer in picking one thing at a time. Maybe journaling is your thing. And so spending 5 minutes a day just journaling your thoughts, working through some of the questions we reflected on in the last 2 days, or just things in general that are coming up. Writing down things that you feel grateful for. If you don't know what to journal on, aside from the prompts that I've already given you, send me a message. I have some really great resources on starting and cultivating and maintaining a journal practice that feels good, that really takes the guesswork out of journaling and what you should be writing. Which, like, there are no shoulds, but sometimes it's nice to have a little bit of support with that. Maybe one simple shift you can make this week is to not reach for your phone first thing in the morning. And when you wake up, you take 5 breaths. Start getting small wins here and now so that you start feeling good. And it rekindles that feeling of worthiness in your body, that you are worthy of taking 5 cleansing breaths in the morning before you dive into checking your phone and your emails and your messages and all of those things, before you give up your day to someone else. You are worthy of having those moments in the morning just to you. And maybe if you're like me and you are tackled by an 18-month-old every morning, you use it as an opportunity to hug that kiddo a little tighter and take those 5 deep breaths regardless. Pick one thing that feels good. Listening to a guided meditation. I'm a huge fan of the Insight Timer app. I actually was just listening to a meditation before I hopped on here. You can pick what time you want, you can select the length. You can select guided or just music. Meditation isn't about stopping all of your thoughts. It's pausing to hear your thoughts and to reflect on them. We might ask for answers all day long. Why are things feeling so frustrating right now? Why do I feel so poorly about myself? Why do I keep having these unhealthy thoughts? Meditation is that time to slow down and listen to why those things are coming up. So you're not bad at meditation, you just haven't found a way to meditate that makes sense for you. Maybe it's taking your water and telling your water your affirmations. And that's it feels a little out there. It's possible to change the molecular structure of water through sound, through voice, through words. So you can literally program your water to encompass the things that you want to incorporate in your life. So tell your water, I'm worthy. I'm loved. I am a good mom. And then you drink those things in, and you drink water anyway during the day. And so creating a self-care practice isn't about revamping your whole life and turning your schedule upside down. At first, especially if you feel very far from where you want to be and you feel like it's been so long since I've taken time for myself, It's about finding moments in your day to incorporate these practices so that you start feeling better, so that you start buying into the idea that you can take more than 5 minutes for yourself a day, so that you practice and feel excited about and not guilty about taking 10 minutes, taking 30 minutes, taking a whole day away. Take your phone, and if you have an iPhone, I'm not sure if other phones do this, but I know for sure the iPhone, when you have alarms in your phone, you can set an alarm for a random time, and maybe that alarm just says, get up and take a walk. Whether it's taking a walk around your house, whether it's getting up and stretching from your desk, or if you've been sitting too long, whether it's getting up and taking a walk around the building if you are working in an office environment, you're not working from home right now. Or if it's safe and you're able to do that without, leaving your kids unsafe. Or programming a phone reminder to stop and take deep breaths. These are such simple shifts you can start making now that when you do them consistently, do this for a week and see how you feel by the end of the week. And then next week, pick something else. When you develop a commitment to yourself and you follow through with that commitment in the way of these simple self-care tools, it is life-changing. Because you are sending a message to yourself that you care about yourself enough to make yourself a priority. That also sends a message to your kids that they are allowed to take care of themselves. They are allowed to experience all of the emotions. We're so good at holding emotions for our kids, for our families, for our partners, for our friends. And when it comes to our own, we see it as weakness, we see it as a vulnerability, and we see it as something to repress. But if I can impart anything on you in these last 3 days of training, is that we need to reprogram these things and not repress them. The real pain in our journey to heal ourselves and move through mom guilt is the resistance, is the avoidance. The more we avoid looking at the emotions we are experiencing, the more painful they seem. But the true healing is sitting with the anger, the resentment, the frustration, the feeling of not being seen, the feeling of not being appreciated or accepted, the loneliness. When we sit with those feelings, process them, work through them, they're not as scary and they're not as painful. And maybe that's something you feel confident and comfortable doing on your own through these self-care practices, or maybe it's something that you want a little bit more support on. Whatever it is, putting it off a day longer is not going to help. And so how do you create a vision for your life, for your family, whatever it is? Take the last 2 days of journal prompts that you've worked through, or if you watched the videos and you took notes. What would your life feel like if that most pressing, unhealthy thought was no longer an issue? What does guilt-free motherhood look like to you? What does it feel like to you? What does that version of yourself who doesn't feel guilty about making decisions, who doesn't feel guilty about taking time for yourself, what does she do on a day-to-day basis? How does she look? How does she feel? How does she show up? And what's one thing you can start to do each day to show up like her? To align yourself with an experience in motherhood that meets your expectations and not anyone else's. What feels natural for you as a mom? So really take some time, even if you wanted to just close your eyes and place your hand on your heart and really think about these questions. See how connected you can feel with this version of you that experiences motherhood without guilt. That feels good about how you show up as a mom. even if it doesn't look like how anyone else does motherhood. There is no right or wrong way to solve problems for your family. There is no right or wrong way to show up as a mom, to bring children into this world. This is about what feels in line with your values, with your beliefs about yourself, and how your family gets to look. So like I said, today's was just going to be short and sweet. I will email out the replay and a little accompanying worksheet with these examples. And I want to know, what was your biggest takeaway from this week? What are you going to start shifting in your day-to-day life to work towards this vision that you have? So that's day 3's challenge. I want to know what shifts you are going to make in your day-to-day life to work through the mom guilt, to honor and acknowledge your inner child, to rewrite the rules on what motherhood gets to look like for you. Thank you all so much for joining me this week. The feedback that I've been receiving, the messages, the posts, everything's been amazing. And I'd love to know what other types of series like this you'd like to see. Because I'm planning one for next month. I have the dates kind of already set, but I don't have necessarily what I'll be planning to teach. So I would love to know from you what other types of training series you would like to see in here. Yeah, and I'm so excited to let the winners of the giveaway know. And like I said, if you hadn't tuned in yesterday or hadn't caught it yet, I'm going to extend the deadline to get all of your entries in through the end of the week. So Sunday, I'll be picking the winners of the giveaway. So first giveaway is going to be a 75-minute Vibrant Mama activation session with me. Then the next prize is going to be access to the Inner Child Academy, which has 3 of my favorite master classes that I've ever taught on reprogramming the subconscious mind, and how to dive into inner child healing a little bit more, along with a sacred tantruming practice to release anger and resentment. And then the 3rd place prize is going to be a really amazing course on journaling. So with that being said, if you enjoyed what you saw this week in these 3 days, learning how to work through mom guilt, learning how to tap into your inner child, and learning how to really connect with and create tools and a vision for your life, these are the things that I teach in the Vibrant Mama method. And I do a live group course with this, and the next round won't be open until the end of January because we're in round 3 right now. But I did decide to open up the Vibrant Mama method as a self-study version. So you get all of the modules, all of the tools that are included with that, and you could take it at your own pace. So if that's something you're interested in, I'm having that as 50% off this month. And if you buy your access, and that includes a payment plan option as well, so this is a super low cost investment, you'll also be gifted with a one-on-one session with me to really jumpstart your healing. So let me know your feedback and your takeaways. If you have questions about Vibrant Mama Method self-study, please feel free to send me a DM. I would love to connect with you more. And also let me know what other topics would you like to see covered in this group. I love you all, and I can't wait to hear everyone's reflections from day 3.